Hello, and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy, episode 174 for the week of September 8th, 2014. Let's turn this mic up a bit so people can hear me. My name is Ryan Higgins, who is here with me this week.
Brock Singer.
Toby.
And Charlie.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm okay.
No one answer at once.
Yeah, good.
Alive.
Fantastic.
Looking at the wall and all the new books that you put up.
Yeah, we got a bunch of new back issues recently. We picked up a couple collections, so some good stuff. Got a first appearance of X-23.
Woo!
Toby's favorite.
I actually might have that issue somewhere still.
Got a first appearance of Psylocke, which is New Mutants Annual.
Woohoo!
Not many people realize that.
Well, actually, isn't there, I looked it up once, doesn't she have, two first appearances, which makes it kind of confusing?
I don't think so.
I thought so.
Got a full run of the Walt Simonson Thor, including first appearance of, what's his face?
Beta Ray Bill.
Beta Ray Bill, yeah. Some good stuff. Come down to the store and come buy these awesome comics before they go away. Well, we got a few things to talk about this week. Bunch of questions. Let's hit it up. Man, my mic is I hope this records okay.
It's been kind of low, last couple of podcasts.
Has it?
Yeah.
Well, I will
Try and fix that?
I will try to fix that this episode then. So if we blast out your eardrums, I apologize.
Woohoo.
Try to make it a little louder.
Comic Conspiracy rock concert.
Yes. Everyone's favorite Human Torch, Chris Evans,
Yes.
more commonly known as Captain America. In Avengers
Or
and Captain
Snowpiercer,
America.
or Loser, or Auto Comic.
Oh, we should say that Winter Soldier actually comes out tomorrow. So day after we record this, so go pick up Winter Soldier.
And it's been a fiasco trying to pre-order it for me.
I went on Amazon and clicked ship, one button. Easy for
Did
me.
you do that today?
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I did it over the weekend, there was no 3D version available on Amazon yet.
I could give two
cares
fucks about a
about
3D version. I bought
say
regular.
that.
I don't have a 3D TV. I bought regular version. It'll be here when it gets here. What was your horror story, Brock?
Oh, I just decided to go through Best Buy and
Mistake one.
Yeah. Well, I had a gift certificate, so I was like, I wanted to use it. So,
okay, that's fine.
and they had a steel case available.
Mistake two.
I know.
I don't like steel cases.
I don't like them either, but it's such a better cover than the regular.
I have one steel case, and that's for Green Lantern. And I bought it because it's Green Lantern. Fuck yeah, GL
But
for life.
Charlie, back me up. The steel case cover is a lot better than the regular 3D.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was going to buy it, and then I wanted to pick it up in store. Of course, it's not available in any of the stores around here because Charlie informed me that
they just have weird things within their inventory for pre-order. So you really can't select a pre-order most of the time to pick up in store. You have to wait till it's officially out, and then it just shows up in stock in stores.
Doesn't that defeat the order or the purpose behind the pre-order?
I don't know exactly how they do it within their system. I'm guessing that when it's marked as pre-order, it's got a different stock column or something.
So I went to pre-order, and then there was the site didn't take my information or screwed up, and then it pumped out a different number, and then I tried to call, and of course it's, just so you know, Best Buy's phone closes at 12 p.m. Central Time, if anyone needed to know that. They open at 6 a.m. But so I figured yesterday I went online to try and, pre-order it again, and it was sold out online for the steel cover. So I said, fine, I guess I'm not getting the steel cover at Best Buy. So I just ordered the regular one and had it shipped to my house. I'm done. I'm not even dealing with it.
Yeah, I seem to be one of the few people who still actually goes to the stores to pick up this stuff.
Well, I would go to the store, but I had such a problem getting Thor Dark World.
Oh, yeah.
I went to Best Buy on a Tuesday after we closed up and stuff. Went to get the because I want the 3D, the digital, all of it.
At this point, because I'm right there with you, and I ended up getting just the non-steel case Thor, and that was fine. But and at this point, I'm just like, when they open, I'll just leave work for a couple minutes. There's a Best Buy near my work. I can run over, run back, no big deal. Because that's the only way I'm going to be able to get it. And I know that's the only way I'm going to be able to get it.
Yeah, I'm the true comic book nerd. I will go to the store. I'll pick up all their copies. I will look through them all, look for any defects, any nicks, any creases, put them all back, and out of the 6 perfect ones, I will pick the best looking one.
The problem is he will still question whether or not he picks the right one.
Yeah.
Yes, there's multiple times I will go back from the
Through
paying
all of
line.
them.
I go on Amazon, I click pre-order, a package comes, I say, what is this? I open it and go, oh, cool. And then I put it on my wall, still shrink wrapped, and I never look at it again.
Yes, I especially love it when you receive packages and you're like, I don't remember ordering this, but I must have.
Yeah.
Or I like it when he receives packages, opens it, and realizes, oh, wait, this is somebody else's package.
I do that all the
And
time.
it has my name on it.
Yeah, I just open boxes when they show up here, so don't ship your shit here if it's not for me.
I tell you
Like,
shit's
I
coming.
didn't order this Sense of Anarchy. What the hell is this?
Throw it in the trash. So, well, hopefully you get your cap properly, Brock. But
Well, I got to call to see if they'll price match Target.
I'm sure they will. If you are a fan of Chris Evans, though, playing Captain America, you may be in luck because it sounds like he's going to play more than just through Cap 3 and Avengers 2 and 3. So he said he still wants to work on some. It's been a couple. I'm not sure where this. It looks like it originally started came from MTV. One of their blogs. So yeah,
MTV still has a blog.
their blog is really good. They're like what is it? The well, they had a specific like comic like geek blog, but I think they just rolled it into the main MTV blog.
Sounds right.
For news recently because I think their old like geek blog went away, but it's
And they were specifically asking him about passing the shield to Bucky or whatnot, similar to how they did in the comic books. And he's like, yeah, I'm not ready to give up my shield yet.
Yeah, so he still wants to keep doing more. I know Robert Downey Jr. said that there is no Iron Man 4 in production or even has even been talked about. There's no way they're not doing an Iron Man 4. Come on, there's no way. But
I find it completely and totally believable, like a lot of the news has been reporting, that after Avengers 3, they will just kind of be like, and it's time to recast Iron Man.
Sure. I expect that. But
And apparently Al Pacino wants to be in a Marvel movie.
And who can blame him? I want to be in a Marvel movie.
I would be down with that.
Who would you guys think Al Pacino could play? What Marvel character do you think he could play?
Spider-Man. Absolutely. Did you see him swing around? He goes, hello to my little friend.
Okay,
he
if it
flashes
was going to be
everybody.
Spider-Man related, maybe Ezekiel. I could see him do Ezekiel.
Could he play?
But I mean, it's obvious in Marvel Studios films, not Fox or
Man.
He's just going to play some criminal that the Punisher goes after.
Yeah.
He's going to play the Phoenix. When he turns evil, it's going to be Al Pacino.
Man, I don't even... I mean, I think of characters, but they tend to not be...
I got it. New Professor X.
Well,
Hello.
I mean, I was thinking like Vulture, but that's...
No, you know who should be the Vulture?
No.
Who should be Vulture should be Robert Englund.
I can see that.
And he already was Vulture.
Was he?
Yeah, in the cartoon.
Oh, he voiced the animated series?
You know, he could... Well, I mean, it's not Marvel Studios, but he could be... Well, it might be... he could play the Owl, Daredevil.
Yeah, I mean, that would be... I could see that. Yeah, there's not too many older...
There should be. That's a shame.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of Spider-Man ones. Which
He could be the new Doc Ock.
Well, yeah, there's a couple characters that I think he could play, but I keep thinking like Magneto. Oh, no, wait, that's X-Men. Oh, well, who
He's
knows?
still new Watcher.
We'll figure it out.
Al Pacino is our Watcher.
Really big.
Well,
Well,
if you were excited for more Cap, you'll have that. If you were excited for more Batman Arkham Knight, you're not getting that because, well, you will just later.
it was
than
delayed.
expected.
Not
Batman Arkham Knight, third game in the Arkham trilogy, fourth Batman Arkham game overall. I'm actually playing Origins now. I'm still liking it. I don't know.
I'm just thinking. So you're not counting the mobile one?
Well, that is not part of that's not part of the Arkham
He's not counting Origin.
kind of big thing.
It's
Yeah.
Arkham City.
It was
Arkham
originally
Knight.
scheduled for like October of this year.
Yeah.
Got pushed back to spring 2015, and now it is finally being released June 2nd, 2015. So if you are waiting for the new Arkham Knight game, it has been pushed back quite a while. But as long as it means it's going to be, finished and good, I don't care if it's pushed back. I have too many games to play. Destiny comes out tomorrow.
Okay.
Well, Destiny comes out in like...
midnight.
It's been out in other countries already, but it comes out here in like 5 hours.
Have you played it?
I played the beta, yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, Destiny's fun, yeah.
Because I saw the live-action trailer they put out.
Whatever, I think it was dumb.
That's Rocksteady, or why is this coming up right now?
The Arkham Knight? Or?
No, the Destiny.
Oh, I just said I have more games to play right now than I have time to, so I'm okay. I'm okay with games getting pushed back as far as they want to get pushed back, because I'll always have more games to play than I have time to play.
Because Destiny looks interesting.
Talking of games, Ryan blew my mind today when I was asking how come Link doesn't know Zelda, and the fucking 16th version of this game. I'm like playing the Game Boy one, and I'm like, why doesn't they?
You're playing Link Between Worlds.
Yeah, and then I was like, well, why don't they know each other? And Ryan goes, oh, they're not the same. Oh, like what? The stories are not in order?
Yeah, every
oh my god,
every Legend of Zelda game
I felt
is
a bit cheated.
Different versions of there may be one or two that have like the same version, like some of the mobile ones.
I felt
some
really
of the handheld
cheated.
ones.
I felt really weird about it.
I
was like, Ryan, do they not know each other because I'm playing as Toby, not as Link? So Zelda won't recognize me as Link? I'm like, is that what's going on? You're a different race, Link. You're not Link anymore.
God.
You know, going back to Al Pacino, wouldn't it be funny if Al Pacino is Spider-Man and De Niro is Daredevil, and they go off swinging together and fighting crime? I would totally watch that.
Did you listen to the Geekbox episode where my lovely co-host Justin Haywald suggested that Bruce Lee should play Batman? Are you on the same?
Put the three together in one movie.
Are you on the same wavelength as him? Yeah,
apparently.
Yeah.
Get Jackie Chan to play the Hobgoblin over in, dude.
Yeah.
I'd totally watch all that.
He had some very strange ideas of who should play what characters, and we're like, wait, are you thinking of the right person?
Jackie Chan as Wolverine.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird.
Do you think you could pull off Doctor Strange?
Bruce Lee?
No, Pacino.
I still want Oberyn from GOT.
He could totally. They could put him in an Odin-like position and have him be the Ancient One.
Yeah.
Who is the guy that Doc Strange gets his powers from. I can see them doing that.
Yeah.
No wanted Inhumans, no? Especially since they're trying to put the Inhumans into as a bigger part of their cinematic universe, no? If they're trying to.
Who could he be?
Who's the martial artist guy?
They don't have an older guy?
Is that Karnak? Is that the martial artist guy? I think that's his name. It's like the guy with like the green little helmet or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that Karnak? Yeah, I can't see him being anyone in Humans. I mean, whatever. He could be
the dog.
You know what? Could he be a new Spider-Man, J. Jonah Jameson? The guy in the Raimi films is just too perfect. I can never see.
He's too gold.
I can never see anyone else be him.
He's and you can't. And their names are virtually the same.
The guy. I can't remember the actor's name now.
It's the State Farm guy.
Okay, I'm sure he's done other stuff too. I can't remember the guy's name. Anyway, not important. So yeah, Batman Batman Arkham Knight getting pushed back. That sucks. I actually have one of the collector's editions. I have it for the first one, but I never got any of the other collectors. Although now that I'm looking at this Batmobile statue, this is sweet looking. Oof. No. Don't need it.
Can we record a podcast instead of you shop?
Yeah.
You would think so.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've already talked about how to
shopping.
order Captain America. And
Yeah, so we're talking about you shopping. It's only his turn to talk about it.
It's a light comic news week. I got one last thing to talk about here, and then we're going to talk about comic we read this week. What's this guy's name? Alex Alonso. I don't know if you could say his name. Editor-in-chief of Marvel announced the other day that there will be not only new Miracleman stories coming, which they've been republishing all the original writer version of Miracleman, the Alan Moore version.
Let me know when they get to omnibuses or something like that.
Well, we're going to get to Neil Gaiman stuff soon enough, all right? We're getting close to there. But it's going to be on New Year's Eve, actually. They're releasing 2 books. Mark Waid's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. #1, the comic version of the TV show, and which is going to be in the Marvel Universe. It's going to be Marvel continuity. And Miracleman Annual, featuring a Miracleman story by Grant Morrison, drawn by Joe Quesada. This is actually an unpublished Miracleman story that Morrison wrote back in the 80s for the Miracleman comic that just never got published. There was some weird. I think that's when the weirdest between him and Alan Moore started. So they found it and they got everything done, and him and Quesada got an agreement, and he's drawing it. So that's cool. It's the first original Miracleman story in 25 years.
Yeah.
So awesome. That would be neat. I will read that, and hopefully all this crap is in some sort of big omnibus. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm not...
Yeah. I mean, do you think a lot of people are waiting for that at
The
this point?
trades, yeah. Like, the soft covers will
They
be
kill me a
fine.
little bit.
The trades are so tiny. Like, I don't care about those versions. I
And
want a couple...
They're overpriced for what you get, aren't they?
we actually have a tweet about Marvel trade pricing. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But there's so many Marvel
I'm gonna
trades.
Get ready for that one.
There's so many Marvel trades that are just way blown out of price right now. So I don't care about picking up the singles. I'll wait for the big. I don't need the big omnibus version. I don't want that. I want nice, oversized hardcovers.
I completely concur with you. I just find in a lot of cases like this, the omnibus comes first nowadays.
Right. Well, DC, a lot of their omnibuses, they've been doing the oversized hardcovers after the fact. So Invisibles, which is one of the first omnibuy they did, they're finally starting to pull out the oversized.
And I've been buying the normal oversized, not the omnibus on that one.
Yeah, I get a few omnibuses. I like my Jeff
Did you
Johns
get into
stuff.
volume 2 of that, by the way?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got it like the other week. I really like... I mean, I collect a lot of Jeff Johns, Grant Morrison stuff, so I'll buy their stuff.
Yeah.
I actually brought in my old Animal Man singles because I grabbed the omnibus of that, but it's a reasonable size.
Yeah.
JSA never picked up the old trade, so I'm getting the omnibus of that. But I would probably trade that in for oversized hardcovers.
I will say this, because I picked up the Brettist Day omnibus recently.
I have the hardcovers, so...
The binding was so much better on that one.
Oh, good.
Yes,
Good.
I was finally got one of those, opened it up, and went, "Wow, this is good binding."
Nice. I know we've talked about this in previous episodes that the binding on a lot of these, they just crack. You know, I mean, they you can't hold the book open, but it's just like
With DC
page one,
especially.
you can hold it open. So awesome. That's great. That's great if they're learning.
Well,
Cause
It's not like 100% perfect. Like it's still kind of like
sure,
but
it's good
it
enough.
is like 1,000 times better than it used to be, where you couldn't open up the first 20 or 30% of the book.
Because you didn't you get the Infinite Crisis?
Oh, I have that. I have the
binding on that is how does it barely hold it together?
There are so many omnibuses I have at home that I'm just like, someday when I have some disposable income and I want to go down to Brock's Binder, I will get these rebound.
I know I have a couple of them, but there's stuff that I've already read, so it's kind of more for a collection. I really want the Sandman ones, but again, there's issues with the binding. I find they don't hold open very well. I have the original.
I just jumped on the absolutes for Sandman, so.
Well, I have those too.
Yeah.
But you know me.
Yeah.
I have a couple things I like to quadruple dip on, but I don't have
my thing is just the absolute Sandmans are bigger and they're much better bound.
Yeah.
So
I just don't
it's
have
not like an upgrade in terms of quality to me.
I don't have a readable copy of Sandman I'm happy with. I have the singles. I have all the original hardcovers, save one or two of them that I still need to track down. I have the absolutes. And the omnibus, to me, doesn't work right. I want like 5 oversized hardcovers for Sandman, because that will be my reading copy.
Yeah.
Because it's cleaned up from the original ones. I like those original hardcovers. I just like them because of what they are. So, but there's some stuff. Yeah. A comic book came out this past week. I think.
What did you just say?
A comic book came out this past
okay.
week. Actually, many comic books came out
Yes,
this
I was
past
about
week.
to say, you do own a comic book store, so you should be aware of how much you get each week.
But there's one specifically that I wanted to talk about because it's kind of a big deal, at least for the time being. I don't know. Toby, did you get a chance to read Death of Wolverine #1?
No.
Do you care?
Surprise.
Do you care if we mildly spoil?
No, talk.
Yeah, I was going to
please.
say, I almost don't feel like I can spoil this book.
Right.
I mean, I know you liked it. I mean, yeah.
Well, I want to start this with some kind of background with what's been going on with Wolverine and more specific to the story and everything. So, a year ago, maybe?
Feels like it's been a year about.
They depowered Wolverine. They basically got rid of his healing factor. I don't even know how.
They did it in a very kind of weird, like, low-key way. Like, it wasn't some huge deal or anything. And basically what happened is there was, like, this sentient virus going around, and the virus basically shut off his healing factor and pretty much said, well, you can't get rid of me now or your healing factor will be gone forever. And, of course, he still got rid of the virus. So,
well, The main Wolverine book, at least sales-wise here, has been terrible for years and years.
Well, I can tell you the book has been pretty terrible for years and years.
I've tried to read it once or twice. I've jumped on the number ones. I've jumped on the start of a couple of these big story
Except the
arcs.
Wolverine and X-Men book. That's been a good book.
The main Wolverine title, all right?
Yeah.
So it's been written by Paul Cornell for the last 2 volumes, who I really, really like. However, the main Wolverine book has been terrible. Just unfucking readable. And to the point where it is one of our lowest selling ongoing titles from Marvel. Lower than She-Hulk, lower than Rocket Raccoon, lower than Punisher.
They just had this weird plan. They're like, we're going to make Wolverine sales so low that when we kill him, we're not actually affecting our bottom line.
Well, there was some talk they've already axed the Elektra book. I think that, like, the books that sell fewer copies for us that are ongoing Marvel titles would be Elektra,
Which, I actually like that book.
Captain Marvel, Savage Wolverine.
Is Cap on there yet?
No, Cap sells like 4 times what we sell of Wolverine.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't even, that's probably it. Those are probably the only books that ongoing Marvel comics that I sell less copies of than the ongoing Wolverine title. For DC,
So basically, any solo characters almost besides like Thor.
No, it's...
no, there are Elektra and Captain Marvel, I think, are the only 2 ongoing Marvel books that sell fewer copies than Wolverine for me. And I think for DC, I guess maybe the Infinite Crisis comic book that just started, I only sold like 5 copies of that.
But that's also a digital first, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe 1 or 2 of the Vertigo books. But every single DC... Batman 66, actually, I don't sell that many of either.
Again, digital first.
Right, but every single... I sell more copies of Justice League 3000 than I do Wolverine. I sell more copies of all the Ultimate books than I do Wolverine. I sell more copies of every Green Lantern book than Wolverine. I'm seeking in how bad this book has been for us, okay?
I am liking the Ultimate Spider-Man book right now.
Okay. You're entitled to your perfectly wrong opinion.
That's fine. I'm just shocked I'm actually enjoying that book again.
I haven't even opened up an Ultimate book in what feels like a decade at this point.
Well, you accidentally opened one the other week when one, kind of opened in front of you.
Well,
What
yeah,
is this?
my eyes just blinded me. And anyway, enough ragging on how bad the Wolverine comic has been, because we got Death of Wolverine #1 this week, which spins out of what's been going on with Wolverine that no one cares about. And it's weekly. However, parts 3 and 4 have been delayed a month. So it's...
Yeah, you can't call that weekly at this point.
No, it's weekly for 2 weeks out of the month.
Right.
And then next month it's weekly for 2 weeks out of the month.
Right. So issues 1 and 2 were last week and this week. Issues 3 and 4 first week of October, second week of October. It's written by Charles Soule, who we talked about last week, having gone exclusively over to Marvel.
Yes, I cried a little reading Swamp Thing, Future's End, and Death of Wolverine.
You still got a lot of stories for.
I know, but knowing the end is coming, I cried a little.
Drawn by
McNiven, right?
yes, McNiven. So beautiful art. Compared to what I order of Wolverine, I ordered 10 times what I normally order of Wolverine. Right?
Okay, just to sort of illustrate this, and there are other factors for this with variant covers and stuff, but it's always impressive where you take up an entire row of your shelf with a single title.
Yeah, between the main issues, the variants, and everything. I filled an entire row of one of our shelves of the Death of Wolverine comic, and damned if I didn't sell every single one, including the 1 per store cover, to someone over the weekend, which was not cheap. So people care about Wolverine. They just don't give a fuck about his ongoing because it's been terrible. But people came out for this. And going into this, again, I don't care about Wolverine. I never like Wolverine. I've read 1,000 comics with him. He's just not, I just don't care about the X-Men. I was expecting nothing.
Someone's going to break into your house later.
Bryce is
I'm just
I was not gonna name
we're all
him.
like looking over to where Bryce sits and being like,
He's going to jump across the table and
Bryce
strangle you.
knows. Bryce knows.
oh, I know, but I wish he was here for this podcast.
right now we're all just imagining his reaction as he's listening
Well, at
to
this point, we're going to be listening 10, 20 minutes of him destroying Ryan about...
Well, he can be mad, but then he'll be really happy in just a minute. Because I went in to read Death of Wolverine #1 and went, okay, whatever, I'm going to read this. This is garbage. It was actually really good.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Yeah. So...
All 22 pages of it.
20 pages.
20?
So a little plot for people here. There's outside influence crap here that I don't like. Wolverine's not dead. Marvel's already said he's going to be dead through 2016, which means he'll be back January 1st, 2017. Again, I don't know how they're going to stick to that, but whatever. We're getting a post-Death of Wolverine, eulogy series. X-23,
So Fallen Sun all over again.
X-23 is going to get her own series. Every other book's going to talk about Wolverine being dead. I mean, he's going to be in a comic every single month, probably a half dozen.
Remember that time we teamed up?
Right, until the day he comes back. Wolverine and the X-Men's actually becoming what Batman and did after they killed Robin, which was Batman and, Frankenstein, Batman and Nightwing, Batman and
I really liked all of
Red
this.
Robin. Right, so we're going to get Spider-Man and the X-Men, and we're going to get Hulk and the X-Men. So they're going to turn that into a rotating main character lead, which I think is a cool idea.
Yeah.
But, so...
It's just going to be a lot of field trips.
Sure.
But a lot of substitute teachers.
So all this crap is like pushing this book in my mind to be something I'm not interested in. There's 20 pages of comic story in the first issue. There's 27 pages of bonus content. It's $5. It's weekly and it's $5, right? It's got a foil cover.
Well, that's okay. It's not really weekly anymore.
Right. It's
like $10 a month.
It's with all these DC foil covers. It's got a billion things. Fucking $4.99 an issue. Good lord. So all this crap against it in my head is like, well, when you get down to the story, I'm just gonna actually just sit down and read it. And yeah, like I said, damned if I actually really didn't like it. I'm damned if I was surprised how much I liked it. Let me rephrase that. So yeah, real quick story recap here, and then I'll let you guys talk about it. So Wolverine doesn't have his. You don't have to read anything prior to this. If you want to go and just read this.
No, all you need to know...
In fact, I suggest you don't read anything prior to this.
You don't even need to know he doesn't have his powers. They explain everything in the first issue. He goes to Reed Richards and says, "Hey, Reed, you're a dickhead. You're the last person I'm coming to on this, but can you fix me?"
That was a great... That was some great lines in there.
Yeah.
Why did you go... He's like, I had other people to go to, not you.
So he goes to Reed Richards, and Reed goes, "Okay, I can fix you. You have to go to the X-Mansion. You have to sit there. You have to do nothing." He goes, "I can solve this. It's going to take me some time, but I can heal you. Go do nothing. You can't fight. You can't get you can't get shot. You can't get hurt. You can't pop your claws." Wolverine goes, "Yeah, whatever." Walks out, goes to a little island in the middle of Canada, and just goes, "Come at me, bro."
He spells it out right then and there. Basically, he has enough enemies that word's going to get out, and there's no way he's going to be able to pull up anywhere without putting people in danger.
I'm giving the short version of this.
But I'm going to give the more long, complicated, complete version of this.
So off panel, he's attacked
it's
by
Skyfall, right?
the Hand. He's attacked by AIM. He's attacked by a bunch of these characters, but we don't really see someone attacking him until Nuke comes in. Which, funny enough, Nuke was actually killed a couple months ago in Captain America. So, wow, what's up with that? But anyway, maybe this takes place before, or Nuke comes back, because who cares? It's a nuke.
Or maybe it's a robot.
Could be. Well, Nuke comes and gets to the island. He's like, "Quick, let's kill Wolverine." There he is. And then they find the bodies of all the AIM and all the Hand guys. And they're like, "Oh, crap." And then Wolverine comes out, kills all the guys. And then, powerless, beats the hell out of Nuke, smashes his face open, just pummels him.
The way they do that fight, the way the internal monologue from Wolverine is just so different than how he normally approaches things. It's almost like as the fight's going on, he's taking an internal clock of, "Wow, that really hurt. Wow, this is not good for this."
So, we do find out at the end of the issue that Viper is kind of behind it, and she's sent people to capture him, not kill him, to capture him, to bring him in alive. And she's got Sabretooth all tied up. I know there's been crap going on with her and Sabretooth, but I don't know.
In general, part of the reason why I say don't read anything going into this is everything that's quote unquote led up to this in the Wolverine title makes it so this doesn't make sense. So you just throw away all those issues because they're not really building up to this. It doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Because that's a whole big Sabretooth storyline that does not have him chained up as a dog somewhere. And
I don't know. I was like, okay, well, maybe this happened off panel because in the last issue of Wolverine, he's there attacking him. So
he's in so many books in the Marvel Universe. It could have happened in any other title, and you'd be like, oh, okay.
Sure. So, this isn't going to win an Eisner Award or anything like that. But I thought it was a cool first issue, and especially for someone who normally doesn't care about Wolverine. The complaints about Wolverine from long-term fans that I've heard is that Wolverine is no longer the character that they liked in those early X-Men days, because in those days you could shoot him once and he could die. Right? Wolverine has become this unstoppable immortal, and this arc may be a good way to kind of bring him back to a power level. He doesn't have to be afraid to go outside, but he should be able to get hurt, and he can't just go rampaging into these situations.
I do miss the days when they'd come out of battle and Wolverine would be in the infirmary.
Right. I mean, those days of long... I mean, they have blown him up to a single drop of blood, which he has regenerated from. I mean, we are in pre-crisis Superman levels of powers here that they need to draw those back and make him... They don't need to make him... Because in the comics, they're Storm's oh, Wolverine, you can't go on this fight because you could get hurt. And I'm like, bitch, Storm? What? You're just a regular person. You could get a paper cut and your neck slit. He's still more... most of the X-Men are still just regular people, right? Yeah. I mean, Wolverine still is way more stronger and resilient than the large majority of the characters in the X-Men, let alone the Marvel Universe. So it's this weird turn that they've gone to Wolverine to be you're fragile now. It's what? That didn't make any sense either. So both sides are kind of weird.
Well, it's mainly don't get yourself blown up to an atom because you won't heal anymore. Right. Kind of fragile.
The funny thing about you mentioning, you're so fragile now is that when I got back into comics and I was reading Wolverine, I had this ideal of who, the character he was, and it's kind of, he still had it there, and he has this huge power level, but they kind of turned him into this, pussy in a way. It's like he's, with the whole schism and all the stuff with, him and Scott butting heads and stuff like that. It's like you've turned him into that kind of this emotional, kind of, ugh. And then now it's, oh, now your body's fragile too. It's so to me coming into this, I was like, oh, whatever. I'm like, I'm not, that reflected the sales here. I wasn't impressed with it, but I was impressed with this because, like you said, this looks like it's going to, kind of give the character some of that kind of, there's a risk back to it.
Okay, so...
Well, with Wolverine, at least
you got the bug too?
Yeah, I got the bug too.
At least in Wolverine the X-Men, they play him up very sympathetic, and they don't... I don't see them changing up his personality too much.
There's a few events within the Wolverine side of things that I kind of feel redefine the character a bit. The whole idea of giving him his history and such kind of tempered the savage part of him, because that's not as big a factor in the book anymore as that savage side of Wolverine. They've tempered that ton since they gave him back his history. But even before that, after Magneto ripped out the adamantium, that's when they really started to juice up his healing factor, was way back then. And then when they put it back, they didn't temper it back down. They just kind of went, well, no, now it's all juiced up permanently. Right. And yeah, they need to do something to kind of scale some of that back.
I don't know.
So he'll come back, not remember who he is, and...
and we'll get Origin 3.
What do you think of the comic overall, Charlie?
It was good. I enjoyed it quite a bit. As I said, I've been reading the Wolverine book to sort of know what's going on with him losing his powers and everything. Yeah. And my only complaint, and this is just a Marvel editorial complaint more than anything else, is this book should have come out 6 months ago or before. It feels like the starting point in this book was the starting point in the book at least a year ago, when they're kind of dealing with the fact, okay, he no longer has his healing factor. He's going to die from all his enemies. He hasn't exactly been hiding the fact that he doesn't have his healing factor. I mean, Sabretooth has known about that all this time. Tons of people have known about it all this time. Well, so it feels like they're kind of playing up somehow it just came to light when it's been
out there.
Yeah.
Well, my exposure to him was in Nightcrawler, when Nightcrawler comes back to the mansion and stuff, and he's putting on that faux set of claws and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, but to me it was well, Isn't this something that should have been like taken care of like months ago, or a story that, like you said, should have been already told?
Basically, it just feels to me like everything they've done since they depowered him has kind of been pointless, because they, even when they like depowered him, they announced like, we're going to be doing the Death of Wolverine, but nothing in the books have really supported building up towards anything, and it feels like they should have just done this a year ago.
It's like the stuff you were talking about, Ryan, with him talking to Reed Richards. Everything they explained in those few panels, or those couple pages, I should say, is great. Like, it's all amazing practical stuff as to why, he's going to die if he keeps up with the way he's going. I mean, the nod to Hiroshima, or was it Hiroshima or the other one?
Nagasaki.
It's like
Hiroshima.
It's one of those things where, like, those were great nods. Oh, okay, there's this and this and this like going on, and it's all done really, really well in just a setup of a couple pages. Well, like you said, it's they haven't done anything with it, and everyone's known, and it's kind of like it's been drawn out to the point where don't read anything before this.
Yeah, and that's really my only sort of criticism, is just the fact that this book was really well done. It was really well written, and I wished it had been done a year ago, because I kind of feel like, because they dragged it out this long, because they've been plastering 1 month to die and all that on issues,
right.
like it just.
Wait, when was Wolverine's first appearance? What year was that?
76? 75? Hulk 181?
So what
are you asking?
Because that put us at 40 years for 2016?
Over that, yeah.
Is that 40 years? Or, yeah?
I can find out.
Yeah. As I said, my complaint's more with Marvel editorial than the actual
November 1974.
book itself. And yeah, Soul's a good writer. He does very, very good work.
So, yeah, coming up on 40th anniversary.
So they're killing him right before the 40th anniversary.
Sounds about right. All right, we got some questions here. We'll be back to talk about Wolverine when he actually dies, because he's still alive at the end of the issue. What a ripoff!
$5 and he's not dead yet.
I have questions.
Yes.
Do you have to be a mutant to teach at Xavier or Jean Grey School?
Yes. Well, I'm sure they've had guest lecturers or something.
I'd like to see Spider-Man teach a class there or stuff.
In photography?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see that coming up.
Yeah, I mean, he seems like, he's a teacher in real life. I don't see why, and he's a scientist, so he can figure things out.
Yeah.
I actually like to see him teach some mutants.
I'm sure they'll do that.
And is that canon? The Avengers Academy still on? To get this?
They haven't talked about Avengers Academy in a long time.
Yeah,
Not
but
since all the students were kidnapped and thrown on an island.
Yeah.
So there's an island of superpowered kids. That could be a story on its own.
Well, that was a story where Arcade kidnapped a bunch of the superpowered kids.
Lord of the
and
Flies.
No.
Yeah,
played the everybody kill each other.
Yeah, but I mean, if Avengers Academy is no longer around, why isn't Xavier opening it up to all the superpowered kids?
Well, because Xavier's dead.
Yeah.
Well, Jean Grade School, whatever. You know what I mean.
Movie rights things that have influence on
Not
it.
in the comic books.
Yeah, they don't. I don't think Wolverine needs.
I mean,
even
that'd be
more
like,
mutants.
Xavier's like everybody lives in peace and harmony. Why it is discriminating normal humans that just got power later?
Don't ask me. Take it up with the headmaster.
I will.
Take it up
Give
with
me his
Wolverine.
number. I
wait,
will.
He's dead.
No.
So,
Fine.
Mitchell asks.
Hey, Mitchell.
It's not Brock Trent's Mitchell.
No.
No, it totally is Brock Trent's
I know.
Mitchell. He says, I don't know much about Shazam or Black Adam. Tell me, why should I be excited for the movie?
Because The Rock is in it.
Well, this movie that has still not officially been announced, despite DC's own website and Twitter account
Jeff Johns and
publicly talking about the upcoming Shazam movie that has not been announced yet. But I am not the person to ask about this, because I am not the biggest Captain Marvel fan. So, however, I know Jordan Fagley
Yeah, I was about to say.
of the Infinite Longbox podcast is, and I believe he did an episode of Heroes and Villains about
Yes, he did.
Shazam / Captain Marvel. You should go listen to that episode, and he'll tell you why Captain Marvel's the best.
I would say, I mean, if you're curious about it, I mean, the Jeff Johns' latest, the backup stories from the Justice League that are collected, it's an okay representation of Shazam.
Yeah, but there's been better.
I
Yeah,
loved the Jess Smith one.
Yeah.
That one is so good.
Is that in print still?
Probably.
Is that the Monsters one?
I so did not expect it. I read it, and I was not a big Shazam fan before that at all. And I was like so blown away by it.
I don't hate him. I've never been a huge fan. So
and I still don't care. I just, that one book, I was like, holy moly, this is really cool.
I've been limited to appearances in like the New 52, when he's been in the Justice League, or the Justice Society stuff.
Or when
awesome.
he's watching or when he's over watching Young Justice.
Yeah.
When he's being a kid himself.
Right, or through Young Justice or Justice League Unlimited. So, older appearances.
I got introduced to him in like 52 and Countdown, and I enjoyed the stuff I read on him then.
Now, are people that are fans of Captain Marvel or Shazam, is that an older generation? Did I just miss the boat there? Is he an older character?
Well, I think there is a lot
he's from the
but
40s.
that being said, when they were doing like Batman the Brave and the Bold, he was a pretty good focal point in there. He is, by definition, and as far as I'm kind of concerned, the best superhero to introduce kids to in a lot of ways because of the kid side turning into Superman, basically. And there's a certain innocence that goes with that power level that they've always been able to play up really, really well, especially when you look back to the episode of Justice League Unlimited with him in it and such like that. The more recent interpretation that Johns did, while I still enjoyed it a lot, lost a lot of that innocence and such that the character had in which is why
Billy Batson's kind of an asshole in that. So,
which is why like the Jeff Smith is one I'd suggest, and then there was the one that Arton Balcazar did within like the kids line.
Kunkel did one too. The guy from Hero Bear and the Kid.
Same book. They just different people on it.
Yeah. So I personally, I think there's a lot of good to that character. If anything, I am really, really kind of hoping that movie can. Essentially, growing up, I was all about like the Batman movie for me and the Superman movie for me, and like those were huge, huge deals. And while I'm not saying that toy sales don't get a boost from the Dark Knight movies and the Man of Steel movies, I don't think that they sort of have that same level of I'm totally going to take my kids to this and spark their imagination and make them fall in love with these characters the way that like the movies that I grew up with. And don't get me wrong, I am ecstatic over the fact that they're making movies for me and not my kids with these characters. But I am really, really hoping the Shazam movie is made a bit more for my kids.
Yeah.
Because I think that character has that appeal that can work for both adults and kids. And I think if they capture that spirit right, that can propel that character to I don't want to say Superman level, but a lot closer to a Superman level than he's ever been in the past.
Yeah. So there's some good reasons. Go watch the movie. It's going to be a DC movie, so it's going to be awesome. Kevin asks, have you guys gone to Six Flags Magic Mountain with the best DC-themed roller coasters? No, I'm not. I hate roller coasters. I am so sad that Disney owns Marvel and not DC, because I want Disneyland rides of Marvel characters and not a bunch of goddamn roller coasters. I hate roller coasters. I want Mad Hat. I want not Mad Hat. I hate that thing too. I hate the teapots or whatever. The teacups where they spin around in a circle. No, I want like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, but like with like I don't know, Green Lantern and Parallax or something. Like, I don't know. I just want a ride where I can sit and, like, things are, like, coming at me. Not like I'm spinning around like a crazy person, like, vomiting all over the place.
Buzz Lightyear and you get to shoot a power ring off.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That's basically what I was just picturing, too.
The Cars ride with, like, the Batmobile.
And you're like going through Gotham.
Last time I was at Dave and Buster's, they had like a Batmobile racing game that was really awesome.
Yeah.
They have a lot of more DC themed stuff now at Dave and Buster. I haven't been in a long time.
That's cool.
I didn't get to play it when we went. I wanted to.
What was the actual question, though?
Have you been to Six Flags Magic Mountain, which has all the good DC
it's
roller
like in
coasters?
high school.
Yeah.
I think that's when the Riddler was brand new and the Superman ride was on.
The one down in
we took a picture in front of the Superman ride, and I was all proud and happy because everybody is doing it in front of the Superman thing.
Did you actually go on the ride, though?
Yes.
Did you like roller coasters?
Yeah.
Oh, I hate them. I can't. I get so sick.
So, I have not been, but it's on my list because I have a Green Lantern ride, so
nice.
I need to go.
I don't mind roller coasters. I can't do upside down ones.
Yeah, I can't.
I like them all. Whatever.
I could do I could do baby ones.
So, in general, I like roller coasters, but as I've gotten taller and older, there's a certain fact of this stuff whizzing by my head.
There's a beam heading towards your dome, and you're
Well,
like, "Am I going to?"
No, I love the ones that are like movie ones, like the Indiana Jones at Disneyland. I love that.
Yeah, no, that's not a roller
Oh, I
coaster.
love that
That's
one.
fine.
Yeah, because that to me is real. Yeah. No,
I'd
but
do that
I like
100
regular roller coasters too.
Ryan
though.
likes rides.
Yeah, I don't
Ah.
like roller
not
coasters.
roller coasters.
Yeah.
Well, there's a fun fact. So, in the Comedy Button, the Great America episode, the monster one, forgot what is is it called the monster? Whatever. There's the monster one, and there's a part where you hear like Goblin starts laughing. That's me and Mike because we were enjoying it so much that we start laughing so loud, and we just left the audio in there because it kind of just fit into the episode.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
So no, I haven't been.
Cross-Sex Hunter, who sent a bunch of questions, but I got a couple here
What
to
up?
read. He asks, did you read any webcomics? For a recommendation for those that don't.
What the hell is a book comic?
Webcomic.
Oh,
He recommends
it's a book that came after the comic. Sorry.
Gunnar Krigg Court, which I've heard good things about. But no, I don't read webcomics. I don't have time for regular comics. I just don't.
Which one did you recommend? Or
Gunnar Krigg Court.
Okay.
I'm probably butchering the name of that, but
okay,
yeah.
cool.
Charlie, you used to read a ton of webcomics.
I used to read a ton, and occasionally I still go in and dabble. Battle Pug is a lot of fun. I caught up on that a long time ago now, and I should probably sit down and catch up again. I used to read Sluggy Freelance. That was great in the early days, but I kind of got burnt out. One thing I will kind of plug, though, is it's always behind the actual printed comic book, but Skull Kickers is out there as a webcomic also. So
Is that web first?
no,
Oh,
that's
okay.
web after, which is why it's always behind the printed issues. Like,
okay.
There's always basically a story arc behind, roughly.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm sure people have heard me rant about how much I love Skull Kickers, and you can read it for free online
Nice.
legally.
Nice.
And as a side note to that, just because I'm going to plug Jim Zub's site here a little bit, his site has actually talked about the increase in sales and everything. He's charted it along the way as he's published that book. So he has the marker of when he started putting it up for free online and what that did to his sales, and they did go up after
Nice.
putting it up online rather than down.
Well, it's like
sense.
free to read, and if you like it, a lot of people will collect it after, right?
Right.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying that again kind of shows that.
That's neat. That means people are still willing to pay for product. That's good.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think I mentioned this before. I like the Fox Sister by Christine Strain. I don't know if she ever continued that, but I mean, this is years ago. She's the colorist of a lot of Marvel books like Runaways and stuff like that. I really dug that book. A friend of mine and Lane's a Tea Club. I don't think that's online anymore, but we really dug that one. But lately, and there's a lot of controversy with this guy, I like the JL8.
Oh, jeez.
Mr. Dick Pictures. But I actually really dug JL8 as a just, I mean, take the drama away. I don't really care. I mean, well, look, that's his business, right? But the actual JL8, I actually found it very amusing. You got Batman just brooding on top of the slide and everybody like, hey, move. Stop being on top of the slide brooding. I thought that was really funny. There's really cool stuff there, so I really dug that.
You're not going to get any more.
That's too bad.
Sorry.
Oh, well. That's what you get for showing your wiener.
Cross-Sex Hunter.
Among other
asks-
things.
He also asks, hold on, let me get back to it. Where is it? Here it is. He says, how about Marvel's pricing for their trade paperbacks? What's with the recent change in Young Avengers? What is the purpose of a trade paperback? I'm assuming he's asking that because Marvel has gouged the prices recently. They're basically full cover price plus at this point.
Well, I haven't actually bought like a Marvel comic in years. Like the first Marvel purchase I've made in years was the Annihilation Omnibus. And I was actually going to get the Thor, tempted to get the Thor hardcovers or the Thor trade paperbacks, but it was like what, $24.99 for the hardcover, and it was 5 issues.
I just bought New Warriors Volume 1, issues 1 through 6, $25. $4 an issue,
Is that
6
the
issues.
hardcover or soft?
Soft cover.
Jesus.
$24 plus $1 because it's a trade. Yep.
Yeah, like
That's the world we live in where comics are $4 or $5 each.
There used to be a time I used to buy all the single issues of stuff I liked, even if I didn't read it. and then I would buy the trades because that's probably more likely I'll read that. Then I stopped buying the single issues, just bought the trades because, that's more likely I'll read. To a point where I'm like, don't even bother picking up the trade anymore because I'm like, dude, if I don't read this is like $20-$30 down the drain. So now I don't even buy them all.
So the weirdest part of this for me is, yes, their standard premier size hardcovers and trades have gotten insane, but
can you even call them trades? They're so thin.
The price point on their like oversized stuff for like Hawkeye and that is not quite as bad. No. And then some of their omnibuses they've solicited recently are actually at good price points, like the Wolverine and the X-Men omnibus was at a great price point.
I'm curious if that's going to change though going forward, because I noticed some of those oversized hardcovers have gone from like 30 to 35 to 40 to 50.
Oh,
75 for that Infinity one.
Yeah. But, and this is, well, I'm not disputing the fact that some of these have gotten...
Hell, the soft cover for Infinity is $50. That's crazy.
Oh, it's completely crazy. But if I recall, that's also because it's got the Infinity miniseries, plus the new Avengers stuff, plus the Avengers stuff, plus...
No, I understand why it's that expensive and why it's that big, but it just seems like, oh, geez, man.
Oh, no, I completely agree with you. I'm just saying that I always do the math at a price per issue, and it's especially gotten hard for me because price per issue is easy math for me that I could be comfortable with, but there's also that sort of size factor. Yeah. And when I'm looking at Marvel's not necessarily the worst offender for stuff like this. Like, if you look at the mathematical editions for Adventure Time...
Oh, those are way expensive.
Those are like 4 issues for the first one, and I'm trying to think, it's like 30, 40 or like
30 or 35, yeah, they're really expensive.
It's just crazy, and it just happens that way sometimes. And like they tried putting out a hardcover for the new Turtles, and it was the same kind of thing. It was like a nice oversized hardcover, but it was only 4 issues, and it was super thin, and it just kind of kills me. And it's
for collectors only.
Yeah,
because the digital are 99 cents. So you just buy those if that's what you want to
me, read. Trade should still be a good size, not too big, not too small, and a good price. I mean, and it seems like they're not hitting either of those two now.
Well, the DC trades, 8 issues, $16.99, $17.99.
Yeah.
$2 an issue.
It just seems to me like the stuff that gets pushed out fast gives me more sticker shock at Marvel than the stuff that gets, like the Dan Slott She-Hulk trade collections do not give me nearly the sticker shock that like the latest Daredevil trade does.
But they've solicited them at certain certain prices and have changed them post. That New Warriors was $17.99 when it was solicited. It's shipped at $24.99. So be careful.
Well, it's like going back to Thor. The second I saw the price on the hardcover, I was like, omnibus.
But That's okay. They have $25 for a hardcover.
Oversized hardcover coming out for Thor. So.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, it's probably going to either be that or it's going to be.
I mean, I might be living in the Stone Ages at this point already, but I loved it when Marvel was doing. Every half a year, there's a trade for whatever book they were putting out, and every 2 years. I mean, not every 2 years. Every year, there's the oversized hardcover, collecting both of those trades in one nice hardcover. I mean, I love that format. I love that format. It was straightforward. I knew when it was coming out. I know.
Walking Dead follows that.
Yeah, basically.
So,
yeah.
Brock's Thor is going to be $50.
It's nuts.
So one of my pseudo rants about this is, so when they first started doing the oversized hardcovers, and Ryan can attest to this, I fell in love with those instantly. And the amount of those I have sold showing people like, well, the cost of Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 1 and Volume 2 for the trades was this price, or you could buy this nice oversized hardcover for $2 cheaper. Was awesome and phenomenal, and I loved it. And the fact that the price point on all of those oversized hardcovers and the way they've handled some of these sort of trades and that kind of stuff has definitely been one of those things where it's a lot harder for me. Like, I still have certain people who come into the shop that I can talk hardcovers with as a like, oh, have you checked out this latest hardcover? But for the most part, if I'm showing somebody something to buy nowadays, it's the softcover trade.
Well, the prices are so different now, though. I mean, it was like $15 half a year, $30 a year, right? I mean, they jump later to $35. Even if they still continue to now, I have no problem paying $40 for a year-long hardcover. But now we're talking like $75, $100.
See, unfortunately, this general discussion kind of got started on me when, because I was collecting all the oversized Ultimate Spider-Man hardcovers, and there was a point where the price was creeping up, like it suddenly jumped to 35 instead of 30. Mm-hmm. But as the price was jumping up, the number of issues were also going down.
Yeah, they got skinnier.
And it was weird because there was no correlation between fewer issues cheaper. It was actually fewer issues more expensive each hardcover that was coming out.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Well, DC fell into that trap with the Flash, the Jones Flash omnibus collections, where
Was that in reverse?
Yeah, that started with too thin and then got thicker.
Yeah. No, they improved
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
But it was literally the size of the first one is the same size as that Fraction Iron Man, and that one was only $40.
That was like 30 or 40, but now that would be 50 or 60.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, 2 more questions and we'll wrap up here. David on Twitter asks, Axis, the upcoming big Marvel Avengers and X-Men event, doesn't seem to be crossing over with any of the main X books. Do you think it would be okay to skip it? If what Marvel has said is to be believed, there will be major changes to the X-Men universe after Axis. I don't know why they're not crossing over, but there you go.
So,
I would not skip it if you're a big X-Men fan.
have they released a full-on list? Like most of the time when you get close to these events, they start putting out like a checklist.
No, not yet. I mean, just we know what the first month or two of crossovers are, but that's it.
And that's what I was going to say, because most of these events start with limited crossovers, but by month 3...
They blow up in everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming out of Uncanny Avengers, so if you're reading that, you want to read it. If not, I guess you could skip it, but I believe it's going to have some pretty big effects on the X-Men universe going forward. Well, we'll see.
believe it will start crossing over before the end of it.
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, especially with, the Uncanny X-Men Original Sin stuff feels like it's so... I mean, it has nothing to do with Original Sin, really. Yeah. So most of those crossovers hadn't. I'm sure they'll throw the tag on.
Most of them with the tags.
The end of Original Sin was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
Let's talk about that next week. Talked about Wolverine today.
No, the Original Sin tie-in stuff. It's of the stuff I read. It was literally like, oh yeah, you found out the lie, or your eyes were opened, and then the story keeps going.
Yeah,
it's like
sure.
The Hulk Iron Man one definitely was probably the most impacted by the original.
I'm talking like Amazing Spider-Man Original Sin, Daredevil Original Sin, the Daredevil Original Sin. I actually enjoyed.
The Spider-Man one led him to a new character that's starting this arc, and so I see why that's for sure a tie-in. I agree. The X-Men one doesn't make any sense as a tie-in.
A lot of them feel kind of
because it had nothing to do with any big secret being revealed from the Watcher.
All right. One last question. It's a nice, easy one to close the podcast out with. Kevin on Twitter asks...
Some Kevins this week?
And he says he can't... Yeah, it's a different Kevin. He says, I can't believe my question man in the air last time. Well, I'm happy we answered it. And we'll answer your other question now that has nothing to do with comic books. What did you have for dinner yesterday?
Really? That's what we're going to end this on. Is what
why
we had
not?
for dinner
Sure,
yesterday.
why not? I went out for my 14th anniversary with the lovely and beautiful Leanne Hill, my girlfriend, and we went to Melting Pot. So... there you go. Brock is giving some cryptic...
You got some brown on your nose.
Okay. And? Do you not love your girlfriend, Brock?
I love my fiance.
Okay. Good to know. I don't know what you're trying to tell me here. So we went out to the Melting Pot, which is a fondue place. I don't know if you've ever had fondue. Fondue's yummy.
But that one was a chocolate fondue, no?
We also got chocolate fondue at the end.
Oh,
for
is it a
dessert.
cheese fondue place?
And then I went home and fell asleep. Yeah. I did both. It's cheese and then chocolate, yeah. We got a nice Groupon. Nice little cheap fondue meal there. Yeah. Don't do it very often, but yeah. Anniversaries, it's nice. What else? What did you guys have for dinner last night?
I had pasta salad.
2 pounds of it, or just like what you mentioned? You eat a lot of goddamn pasta salad. I'm sorry. You brought in this fucking gigantic thing of it the last couple of weeks. You're eating more accurate amounts of pasta salad today. It's good.
I probably had maybe a pound.
That's a lot of pasta salad, dude.
Good. Gosh, my fiance,
That's a lot of
she
pasta
makes it
salad.
Real good. Weight's the same.
Toby's like, I haven't eaten dinner in 6 months.
Toby, have you eaten? Like,
No, I'm just trying to figure out what it's called.
you didn't know what you put in
Pizza.
your mouth yesterday?
Salad.
Pizza salad?
No, it's Chinese. It's got this. It's like this dark sauce on it with cucumber, and there's a specific name for it.
Huh.
It is called
Is there a number?
Think about it.
jiao jiao mian. Jiao jiao mian. Yeah, well, I wouldn't know the English name for it
Sure,
anyway.
okay,
So
okay.
it's jiao jiao man. I
man.
You eat
Cha-cha,
various
man.
Chinese food.
It was some kind of Chinese food with a really dark sauce with cucumber on top, and it was vegetarian, so it was good.
Like
With some
soy or
Sichuan
something,
noodles
or-
that are like the thick noodles, really good stuff.
Cool. What do you have for dinner, Charlie, last night? Sunday
So
night?
it took me a while to figure this out because I could remember what I had for lunch.
This.
But no, I think last night for dinner I had potato salad and like breaded chicken.
Jia jia mian. I got it.
There you go.
Well, that's in Chinese though, so it's probably very similar in English.
Whatever is in English.
Yeah,
All right, there
Dark
you go.
sauce with cucumber.
jia jia noodles. I don't know.
If you ever wanted to know what we had for dinner, there you go. Now tonight I'll go home and probably have cereal because
What else?
Cereal's great.
You eat cereal when you're at home almost all the time.
I eat cereal all the time. I love cereal. It's so good. Oh, I love cereal. I had pizza tonight. I'm going home and have cereal tonight, though. Who doesn't love cereal? Okay, I'm going to wrap this podcast. We have nothing else to say. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this podcast. I can't remember what I say at the end of the credits, so I'm going to actually open up this text document that tells me what to tell people.
You just
'cause
read it off.
Otherwise, I've stopped. I've deleted that little portion of my brain that remembers what to say. I just read it now, so I don't have to worry about remembering it
Oh, there you
anymore.
go.
It's perfect.
How about I try it?
It's more
Follow Brock at brocksager.com.
more space for me
on
to
his
remember.
YouTube channel,
More
and
space
Charlie at Infinite Longbox and the Wanderers in 4D podcast.
Close.
And Ryan with the Comics Conspiracy Store in Sunnyvale. You could mail order your your comic books from the store. Brock will mail it and pack it real well.
No, I don't want any
You could
brides,
digitize your comics by buying them off the Comic Conspiracy website. And follow Ryan at Ryan Higgins Ryan, Brock Saga at Brock Sager, Charlie at Insanity and Chaos. We also have our two cohorts that are not here. Bryce Larson is in Larson Bryce at .com thingy, and Omar, who is in
gonna do
Germany
two
and Italy
outros.
right now. He is at Comics and the Kind at .com thingy.
Your
And
Twitter that doesn't work?
and my Twitter that's being pornified right now at TobySheet.com something.
at .com thingy.
Yeah.
You forgot that this episode and all our previous episodes are available at geekbox.net and comicsconspiracy.biz, and you can go to the forums at forums.geekbox.net and the Geekbox Facebook group. The link you were looking for our digital comic store is digital.comicsconspiracy.biz.
That's what I said.
Conspiratobrock.com is Brock's website, where
Brock's
he's got all this
swimsuit?
stuff. His website. And Comics and Decline is Omar's site where you can go read his blog. But yes, the Infinite Longbox podcast and the Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension podcast are the other things that Charlie does. Go listen to those.
Yes.
They're going to be talking about Robin Hood tonight. You got all of the Twitter handles correct.
Ah,
But you forgot to tell people to listen to the Geekbox, the Comedy Button, Good Job Brain, and the All Talk podcast, the other podcasts that we have in our fine little Geekbox network. Go do those.